In this lesson, we'll work with Photoshop to export some images to place into Premiere Pro. Let's bring the tree scene, JPEG, over here to the beginning, and we need to start adding in the mortal and the human visuals. Let's minimize Premiere Pro. Let's look at our assets folder. Let's work with the Demon PSD first. Let's open that up, double click on it to open it up in Photoshop. There are 3 folders here. Folder 1 is the demon talking. If we turn the eye off on folder 1, we'll see folder 2. Folder 2 is the demon laughing. Turn off the eye in folder 2 and we'll see folder 3, which is the demon looking like he's very irritated. If we open up the folders here, you'll see a lot of layers. Let's deconstruct it to see what I did. I started with drawing the demon with a brush on my iPad. Let's turn on the bottom layer, which is the cloud layer that I drew. I drew black lines and filled it with white. This layer here has some soft brush strokes I used with a soft brush with black, and I brought the opacity down to 40%. This is what it looked like when I started, and then I brought the opacity down. I colored the demon red, and then I colored his eyes and his horn orange. I added a white highlight on his horn. I put a shadow under his chin. I added shadows under the nose, the ears, and the mouth. And then I added some highlights. Highlights and shadows when you draw cartoons makes objects look more realistic. All right, let's close that folder up and start exporting each one of these images for our video. And do File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Let's go to the Assets folder. Let's click on Visuals. Let's name this demon1.png and press Save. Turn off number 1 and turn on number 2. Do the same thing. File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. In the same folder, we're going to name this one demon2.png and press Save. And the same thing for number 3. File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Save this as demon3.png and then save. We can close Photoshop and press Don't Save. Let's open up Premiere Pro. Let's move it to the side and get our assets folder. We're going to drag Demon 1, 2, and 3 into the timeline. You can select all of them by pressing the Shift key and drag them onto the timeline. Notice that I dragged them onto a layer higher than the tree layer. Let's drag Premiere Pro back again. Let's look at what we have here. Let's zoom in a little bit, get in closer. So I want to take this one, this is the first one, and make that longer. Take this one, make this one longer, and then make this one longer. So when we take this one and drag it over the trees, we can see through the background of this image. That's why PNGs are so powerful. Now the demon is going to be talking during this part right here. So I'm going to drag the demon over here and I'm going to match up the demon to this area right here. And then I'm going to bring the demon to right about here where the mortal is going to start to talk. Now, I'm not worrying about placement of where the demon or the mortal are going to be yet. That's going to be the next step after I put everybody where they're supposed to be. So this part right here, the demon is still talking. I'm going to drag these over here, take this one, and I'm going to duplicate it. I'll press the Option key and click and drag this over and then drag this a little longer. I'm going to drag these over a little bit more and I'm going to duplicate this one again. Option drag, it's right there. And I'm going to drag this over to the right. I'm going to come over here. Now, during the ending here, we want to have all 3 of those demon images. This is the last one where he's saying the last bit. This is the part where he's laughing, and I'm going to duplicate this one and make it smaller. Let's zoom in. He starts laughing right here. So I'm going to take the laughing image, put it right there, and make this one a little longer. Now, this part right here, he's laughing and Premiere Pro cut it too quickly. So I'm going to take this narration and drag it to the right and then drag this narration to the right. And he stops laughing right about here. Drag this to the left, and then I'm going to drag the audio, the sound of nature over to the right. I'm going to drag this part over to the right where he's saying his little bit at the end here, and I want to match that up right here and to the end right here so everything ends at the same time in the video. We don't want the music or audio to go longer than the video because that will show a black screen with the music. You just want to make sure everything ends at the same time. So where he's laughing, I'm going to drag this part longer, right about here. And then I'm going to take this part where he's talking and duplicate it, drag it over here, because at this point right here, he says, "You're joking, right?" So I'm going to drag him over a little bit like this. I'm going to show the mortal, and then I'm going to show him again talking. So I'm going to duplicate this one again, put it right here, and drag that to the end. So these spaces are where the mortal is going to be, because we don't want to see the demon the whole entire time. We want to show that interaction, that the demon is talking to the mortal and what the mortal is looking like, listening to what the demon is saying. So there might be other parts in the story here where I'll show the demon again with the mortal to show them together in the space. But this is a good start. Command S to save. This lesson will continue in the next video.